in. He has been this staff for 3-2. His ERA of 1.44 is best amongst on the staff, and he is 3-0 on the year. As that one will be lined into right center for a base hit by the two-hitter in Jake Hammond. As that will bring up Jared out of the University of South Florida. Joe, so far on the year, has a which leads the team, this is his only 12th appearance of the Mohawks. He's 10 for 43, so that's not exactly a great have Joe as their RBI due to his limited time here, as that one is fouled off of the the grandstand here, the press box, as that one even won. Mohawks wearing their full red unis tonight with their red undershirts, as that one is flown high into the air and left. Lining it up is Arndt, who will make the catch for the second out. Retreating back to first is Hammond. That'll bring up Richie Barella out of Manhattan College. Richie is currently hitting .413 for the Mohawks. Is league-wide as that one, and Ethington out of the stretch of the 1-0 is a curveball in there for a called strike, evens it at 1-1. Richie batting in the 4 spot today, which usually has not been the case for the Jasper of Man. Richie is 19 for 46, 9 runs scored, 1 double, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 8 walks. He's struck out 9 times. He's been hit by a pitch twice. And from a stretch, Ethington checks the runner at first. Last two players and then one coach, as that one is in the dirt. Nice stop by Vaglika. Keeps Hammond at first, but makes the count full. 3-2 here with 2 outs, runner on first. A Jake Hammond single. As that one will be slapped to second base. Fielding it is the second baseman Rouse. And on to first for the third out. So, round a hit, and no runs are scored by the Mohawks. 1 is left on base. No errors there in the bottom of the first, as we will head to the second inning here at Shuttleworth Park. More as you are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network on YouTube Live. Anthony Vaglika steps in to lead it off for the Dragons in the top of the second. Durant worked a 1-2-3 inning to start the game, as that off-speed pitch misses low and away. The LIU post catcher so far this season has not been hitting as well as he did last year. Anthony is batting 135, 5 for 37 so far. That one misses inside, and Durant has yet to throw a strike in the at-bat, 3-0. But Vaglika has scored 6 runs. He has 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 8 walks. As that one is in there for a strike. Makes it 3-1. Durant started each hitter in his 1-2-3 first off with a first pitch strike, which has been a huge key for the Mohawks' success with rotations. That one is swung on and missed. High fastball as it was tipped by the catcher Padre. And Durant has fought back to make the count full. And the payoff pitch is high, so Vaglika will be on with a leadoff walk. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Matt Hamill, out of Siena College. Hamill, I believe, played for Albany last season, as that one misses outside. It's 1-0. First pitch into Matt Padres in there for a called strike, and that one misses high, so it's 1-1 now to the catcher out of Manhattan College. It'll be Matt Padre, Richie Nitza, and Trip Lockhart due up in this inning. So that one misses once again, and it's now 2-1. What they haven't been doing is taking advantage of counts where they're ahead. So that 2-1 pitch is flown out to right and snagged by Brian Hart.
The second baseman from Florida Atlantic, number 9, Richie Nitza.
And that will bring up Richie Nitza out of Florida Atlantic. As that one is low for a ball, 1-0. Issue with his control in the second as that one is grounded down the left field line. Foul makes it 2-1 to Nitza. Richie so far this year is hitting .313, 10 for 32. Low, and it's 3-2 now. But he has 8 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, which is tied for the team lead, and 6 RBIs. And also, he has only struck out 5 times, which is, as that one misses low, so it won't be a 6 this time as he picks up his now, actually, right now that was Richie Nitza's first walk according to our stats. Of course, we don't control the away stats, so unfortunately, sometimes they can be inaccurate because every scorer scores differently and may miss something here and there. But that on the record right now is Richie Nitza's first walk as he is checked at first but scampers back as the first pitch into Ben Rhodes out of Herkimer is low. I announced Trip Lockhart as the designated hitter, but it'll actually be Rhodes, it looks like. And that one is fouled back out of play. And it's 1-1. last Friday against Oneonta, 6 days removed. We are now had some heroics at the plate, hitting a game-tying RBI double to score Matt Padre in the 7th, and then hitting a game-winning single in the 9th to score Michael Ludwig, as that pitch is in there for a strike to make it 1-2. And the 1-2 is cut on and missed by Rhodes for the second out. Billy, the left fielder out of Wake Forest. And Zilly is slowly bringing his average up. He's batting 114 now. He was under 100 at one point. Says he's 5 for 44 with 3 runs scored, 1 double, and 2 RBIs. He's on his. As we now get some sun here at Shuttleworth Park. It's been muggy all day, sun in and out. But we have continuous sunshine now on the ballpark diamond. Check of Neats at first, but he scampers back in safely. And going on that pitch is Nitsa. That ball was in the dirt. Misses low. Nitsa has himself a stolen base. And the 2-1 into Lanzilli is taken, and it'll sit high, so it'll be 3-1 now to the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. On the bench tonight for the Mohawks, as Etherington kind of asks where that pitch was. Nitsa gets a nice lead from second. The 3-1 is fouled right back to the grandstand by Lanzilli. And they'll even the count at 3-2. Or make the count full, I should say. Runner on second for the Mohawks. Still no score here in the bottom. The 3-2 is in the dirt for ball 4. As we're not given the accurate lineup. Who's really surprised? That'll bring up Colbar out of Indiana. So that means Elvis Peralta is outfield for the Mohawks so far this season. But Barr so far this year is hitting 219 runs scored. He has 3 RBIs, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. As that one is grounded down to third, fielded by the third baseman Hernandez on to first, and that will be the third out. So the 5-3 will end the inning. And the Mohawks score no runs on no hits. They strand 2 on 2 walks, and there were no errors by the Dragons in that inning as we will head to the third here at Shuttleworth Park. Still no score. You're listening to the Hampshire Mohawks Radio Network on YouTube Live. But just to finish my thought on Matt Hamill, he actually played last year for Glens Falls, so he's another returner. So they have a nice little core with some summer ball experience in the PGCBL. As that one misses high, it's 1-0, and that's probably a good reason. A solid amount of games so far. Of course, they come into this game 10-9. As that one is popped and chasing it down is Richie Barella near the away dugout, and will make the catch for the final out of the inning. And Zach Durant is through his first time through the order facing the minimum, as we will head to the bottom of the third inning here at Shuttleworth Park. Still no score as you were listening to the Hampshire Mohawks versus the Glens Falls live. So a lot of people who have been Mohawks fans, and his hitting within the PGCBL, he cuts and misses at a huge fastball. Definitely wasn't cheated on that swing. That's probably one of the biggest things I like about watching him 1-1. And now is the eye. That ball was probably about a couple inches low, but it might have been too close to take, and he has the eye to take that one as third baseman Hernandez, who will make a beautiful barehanded play and throw to first to get Joe Janor by half a step to end the inning. As the Mohawks are down 1, a nice barehanded play, and we will head to the fourth inning here at Shuttleworth Park. Still no score, and you are listening to the Hampshire Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Hernandez for most extra base hits on the team, as he will be punched out on a nice pitch that catches the outside corner from Durant for the first out of the inning. That was Zach Durant's 20th strikeout of the season. Now bring up Dan Ryan out of Fairfield University. For people who haven't seen Zach Durant pitch yet this year, he is a long and lanky guy out of Herkimer. That one is fouled away to make it 1-1, which is probably expected. Herkimer has a long range of long, lanky pitchers. A lot of great guys have gone on to Division I programs and other Division III programs that have had success. Durant is listed at 6'4", 185, which kind of tells you how much of a string bean he is. As that one misses high, it is 2-1. But the explosion of the ball out of his hands when his elbow snaps down in his throwing, aren't doing anything in the game that I had covered. But so far for his Glens Falls Dragon season, he is hitting .241, 13 for 54 with 6 runs scored. And he has 4 doubles on the year as well. As that one misses outside, and it's 2-1. Durant, I believe, has thrown first pitch strikes to 4 or 5 out of the 11 batters that he's faced. As that one will be lined slowly. The shortstop, Cole Barr, having to sneak back, but the throw will not get him, as that will be ruled an infield hit. So that will be the first hit for the Dragons. And it will bring up the catcher, Anthony Viglica, with 2 outs. Viglica so far today is 0 for 0. He walked once. As that first pitch misses low, it's 1-0. As Durant now slows down, goes from the stretch here, with the sun beginning to set. That pitch is fouled down the left field line, way out of play. As Viglica steps back in for the 1-1. Not taking a huge lead at first, as aren't. Not tremendous speed. Only 3 stolen bases on the year. That one will be ripped down the left field line, but will be foul. and it'll be 1-2 here to Vaglica. On deck, if Anthony keeps the inning going, is Matt Hamill out of Siena. And Durant will step off and get another sign. Top of the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park. Still no score. Each team now has one hit. The 1-2 here from Zach Durant to Anthony Vaglica is high. Checking the runner at first is Matt Padre, but doesn't throw down. Evens count at 2-2. And running is Arndt, who got a huge lead out. Hamill so far today 0 for 1. He flew out to center in the second. And now Zach Durant will get a visit from head coach Keith Griffin on the mound. And everyone will join in. Durant sped through the first 3 innings facing only the minimum, but has run into a little bit of trouble here in the fourth. He gave up a soft infield single to Josh Arndt, which just escaped Cole Barr long enough for him to not be able to get the throw over in time. And then now he's walked Anthony Vaglica to put 2 runners on. And, of course, the Mohawks right now are not just worried about getting out of this inning, but trying to put some runs on the board themselves. They also only have 1 hit as well. That hit coming from Jake Hammond, who flew out last inning. Coming up in the bottom half of the inning will be Richie Barella, Matt Padre, and Richie Nitza. Those are the 3 due-up. As we have an extended conversation here with Padre, Durant, and Coach Griffin, and he finally breaks it. And we'll head back to the dugout. As we look to get you some updates on other games occurring around the league. As that one misses low, and it's 1-0. And the 1-0 into Hamill is flown in for the third out. So Durant gets a visit from Coach Keith Griffin, and it only takes 2 pitches to get out of the inning. As we will head to the bottom of the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park, it is the Amsterdam Mohawks nothing, the Ethington throws the first pitch into Richie Barella, who grounds it to second base, where Rouse throws it on to first for the first out of the inning. Barella is now 0 for 2 today on 2 groundouts to the second baseman. That'll bring up Matt Padre out of Manhattan College. And Matt Padre today, if you've ever been to Shuttleworth Park, we have a Recovery Sports Hitman, as that one will be flown down the right field line, hooking, and it will be just foul. It looked like if it stayed fair, it might have had a chance to leave the yard. But it will be 0-1. Doubles, he has 7 RBIs, and he has walked 4 times. That one is a little dribbler down to Phoenix Hernandez at third, who has a gun for an arm. And we'll get Padre out for the second out of the inning. It'll bring up Richie Neitz out of Florida Atlantic University. That one is low for a ball. It'll be 1-0. And the 1-1 is inside for a ball, and it's now 2-1 to Nitza. Richie so far today has not recorded an official at bat. He walked in the second, as that one is taken for a strike on the outside. And now the 2-2 from Ethington is a curveball that's ripped down the left field line, but foul. Nitza was out in front of that one. If he had stayed back just a little bit on it, he probably would have put it into the left center field gap, of course, down the line and left.
You don't want to keep the ball? Turn it in our concession stand, you'll get a snow cone.
As that one is grounded down to first, and it will be snagged by the first baseman, Fritz, for the third out. That is the second 1-2-3 inning in a row here for Ethington. And we will head to the fifth here at Shuttleworth Park. Still no score between the Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Dragons. You are listening. Phoenix Hernandez, who made a couple of beautiful throws so far in this game, will lead off the top of the fifth here for the Dragons. Zach Durant still out on the mound for the Mohawks, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. And the 0-1 from Durant is fouled right back. So he is quickly ahead on Hernandez, 0-2. Phoenix so far today has hit into a 6-4-3 double play, 0 for 1. And coming into this game as another returner here for the Dragons, he is hitting .221, 15 for 68. He leads the team in at-bats as he was playing, he was in the leadoff position in the lineup. That one misses low and away. It's 1-2 now. but he was in the leadoff position in the lineup for the longest time, at least to start the season, probably at least the first 10 to 12 games, and has since been worked around. Durant's 22nd strikeout. That'll bring up Zach Fritz out of LIU Post, sharing his college with the cleanup hitter also for the Dragons, Anthony Vaglica. As that one misses high and away, it's 1-0. That strikeout was the 4th on the day for Durant. He has also walked 3. As that one will be grounded down to the shortstop, Cole Barr. Throws on to first. And that will retire Fritz with the second out. As Durant looks to respond to 2 1-2-3 innings from Ethington with a 1-2-3 inning of his own, as he has Justin Rouse up with a chance to do just that. Rouse out of Bell. And he is 0 for 1 so far today. He hit into a double play as well. 5-4-3 to delete a runner in the second, as that one will hit the ground, as it was a line drive in the center and it hit the ground in front of Antico. He makes a nice scoop of it, but it will be a one, but will be attending Marist College in the fall. Will be a freshman for the upcoming season, so he's only 18 right now. Just grab Saratoga as the runner is going. Throw down from Matt Padre. Hits the runner in Rouse, but it was a nice backup by the second baseman Nitza, as Cole Barr couldn't scoop that one. And it's now a 1-1 count here to Hart with a runner on second and 2 outs. Still no score here at Shuttleworth Park, so with a runner in scoring position here, the Dragons would love to take advantage of it with back-to-back hits. As that curveball is in there for a called strike, and Durant is ahead now 1-2. As Durant checks, pitching from the stretch with the runner on base, a nice lead for Rouse at second, checking him as Barr. And the 1-2 misses low and away, and it's even now at 2-2 with 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. The sun is now starting to only cover part of the field with the sunset, and it might mess with some of the middle infielders and then the outfielders, as that one will be grounded to Richie Nitza at second. Throws on to first for the 3rd out. So once again, working around a base runner is Zach Durant, and he has 5 innings of shutout ball so far. And we will head to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through here at Shuttleworth Park. Still score between the Amsterdam Mohawks and Glens Falls Dragons. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Ben Rhodes will lead it off against Anthony Ethington here in the bottom of the 5th. Rhodes so far today is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the second. He is actually a late addition to the lineup, as that one misses high. It's 1-0. He originally, the designated hitter, was supposed to be Trip Lockhart out of Kentucky, who usually pitches for the Hawks, but we've seen a couple of pitchers step in that DH spot when needed, as the Mohawks have not been the best hitting team this year, especially compared to teams in years past, as that one misses low and away. It's 2-0. And I don't think that's necessarily because of a lack of talent. I back a long fly ball, but a nice catch made by the center fielder Dan Ryan, and Ben Rhodes is down with the first out of the bottom of the fifth. Excuse me, jeez. And that'll bring up Chris Lanzilli out of Wake Forest, as that was probably the farthest hit ball for the Mohawks so far today, as that off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike 0-1. But as I was mentioning, I don't think the Mohawks' woes is because of a lack of talent, so to speak, as that one misses low, it evens the count 1-1, but more of just a lack of aggression at the plate at points. And I think also it may be a confidence thing for some of the players, as I've seen a lot of great cuts taken in practice, as that one is fouled off. It makes it 1-2, but in the game, like for a guy like Chris Lanz, evens kind of 2-2, and he came off hitting. I believe he hit 268 in the Demon Deacons in the Demon Deacon season overall. Of course, now games are in the ACC, but that one also misses low, and it's 3-2. As Ethington is currently only his left fielder Arndt for the second out. That'll bring up the 9-hitter in Cole Barr. I knew that we originally, if you've been listening to us this entire broadcast, we said that Elvis Biggie Smalls' Hypnotized started playing, as that one will be lined into center field for a base hit. And Cole Barr has the Mohawks' second hit of the day in Mike Antico. Antico so far today is 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out. And I'm sure he will contest as that curveball is on the outside corner for a called strike 0-1. And Antico has done well so far today with that L7. And we will head to the 6th inning here at Shuttleworth Park. Nick Kondo will and Seton Hall University, excuse me, out of the. He is actually a Bronx native, so he lives in lower New York. As that one is fouled back, and it's 0-2 now. He will be a sophomore there in the upcoming season. Espinal's stats so far, he's thrown 8 in 2/3 innings, given up 8 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. That one is a soft liner right to the first baseman, Genord. That'll be the first out. And that'll bring up Dan Ryan out of Fairfield University. Espinal has thrown 8 in 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, they're all earned. Walked 3, struck out 7, and he is 0 for 0 with a 4.15 ERA. 0-0. As that one will be fouled off by the center fielder Ryan, and it's 0-1. We mentioned before the Elmira Pioneers and Albany Dutchmen were rained out tonight, so they will not be playing. Geneva currently leads Watertown 1-0. That is in the top of the second in Watertown. Stepping out is Dan Ryan. Still 0-2 here, 1 out. Mohawk Valley and Newark are scoreless. They're in the top of the first. In the top of the second, the Saugerty Stallions are down to the Adirondack Trailblazers 3-0, which means well for the Mohawks or the Dragons, as that one is lined deep to left off the wall, and snagging it is the left fielder Lanzilli, throwing into Barr, who would have had bang-bang play, but knocks off his glove, and in there with a one-out double is Dan Ryan. First extra base hit for either team today. Comes in the top of the sixth. And it is now a huge blow for the Stallions, who had a chance to at least have it in a week maybe, because you've had multiple rainouts. And that'll be a big issue for Albany, as they will have multiple rainouts. And, of course, they play at Sienna Field, as that one is cut on and missed by Jack Arndt, and it's 1-1 to the left fielder out of Cornell. He's 1 for 2, so looking in, almost K-Rod-like, as he looks in and then has a staggered stance, and he will check the runner at second but not throw over. But as I was mentioning, Albany will have an issue with their field accommodations, as they don't have lights there, so they have started all of their games at 5:05 and have already, I believe, had one game suspended due to darkness, as that one misses high, 2-1, because you cannot end a game early like as it would be for a rain delay. Let's say if you have rain come in the 7th and one team is leading, you would just call it there at 7, but with a darkness delay, as that one is fouled back, evens count 2-2 for Arndt. But if you have a postponement because of darkness, you have to finish that game. So that all of a sudden gives Albany a lot of double headers later in the season, which can be a blessing or a curse. If you're playing well, of course, you want to play as many games as possible. You have your pitchers going through and getting some good work in, but also that can work both ways, because if you have a pitching staff that's tired going into that second half of your summer league season, as that ball pops out of Matt Padre's glove, but he scampers over quickly, and it keeps the runner at second in Dan Ryan, and it will run the count full here to Arndt. Also, Geneva is currently leading Watertown 2-1. That has up into shallow left field. Going back is the shortstop Cole Barr, who will make the catch for out number 2. Staying at second is the center fielder Ryan, and it will bring up Anthony Viglica out of LIU post. But Watertown currently leads Mohawk Valley by 1.5 games. Geneva is currently 7 in the division, so that would be a big win for them. And Espinal's first pitch into Viglica. Viglica so far today in the 0-1 into the catcher out of LIU post is fouled back to the backstop, and it is 0-2. On deck, if Viglica were to keep it going, is Matt Hamill, the designated hitter out of Siena. And the 0-2 from Espinal is outside for a ball, makes it 1-2. And the 1-2 from Espinal will be grounded back up the middle. Snagging it is Richie Nitza on to first for the third out. So Espinal gives up a one-out double, but strands the runner, as we will head to the bottom of the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park with no score between the Glens Dragons and Amsterdam Mohawks. In that inning, there were no runs on one hit, one stranded, no errors, as we will head to the bottom of the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Jake Hammond will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning and take a pitch right to the back. And we'll be on with the leadoff base runner, as it's nice to see Hammond take that pitch in the back with class. And we'll trot down first, proudly taking his base, and it will bring up. He flew out in the first and hit a dribbler to Phoenix Hernandez at third, as that one misses low and almost is thrown away by the catcher for Glica, but nice snag by the pitcher, and it is 1-0. Play on Joe Denord's last at bat, making a nice throw to get him by half a step. That one misses low once again. It's 2-0. As it starts to get, once again, very muggy and buggy here at Shuttleworth Park. The lights are just coming on here in the 6th. That sounds like a record to me. As that, a check at first on the runner Hammond, and he slides back in safely. And the 2-0 was fouled back out of play by Genord, makes it 2-1.
You're breaking glass, fans. Who are you going to call? I can't hear you. Only one person answering. Who are you going to call?
And we have Coach Keith Griffin, the head coach of the Mohawks, at third base, but it looks like we have Doug O'Bray at third and someone else at first. Is that 2-2? Two up behind Joe Genord in the Mohawks lineup is Richie Burrell on deck, and in the hole will be Matt Padre. As that one will be ripped deep to left, and it will clear the fence as Joe Genord gets the Mohawks on the board with a bottom of the 6th 2-run home run. And Amsterdam will take a 2-0 lead here over the Glens Falls Dragons, as Joe Genord crosses home plate. That gives Joe Genord 13 RBIs on the year, which is still the team lead. As those clear the Jankowski Insurance distance markers here at Shuttleworth Park, and it brings up Richie Barella. As that one is taken for a strike, it's 0-1. And the 0-1 is in the dirt, evens it at 1-1. And that pitch is low for a ball. Curveball just dropped low, and sitting back on it was Barella. It's now 2-1. That was Joe Genord's, I believe, first home run this season. Actually, it will be his second home run, so that now ties him with the team lead. So now 4 guys all have 2 home runs, none with more than that. And it's a 3-1 count here to Richie Barella. And that one will be popped into shallow right center and will drop in between the Bermuda Triangle for a base hit. So Richie is on for the first time today. And Matt Padre will come to the plate here with Richie Barella on first. Nobody out still in the bottom of the 6th. As that one will be popped down the right field line, and ranging over is the right fielder Hart to make the catch for the first out. So Padre 1 pitch and 1 out. And he is 0 for 3 so far today. He'll bring up Richie Nitza, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch into Nitsa. Is lined into right center for a base hit. That one may get past the center fielder. Actually cutting it off will be the center fielder, Ryan. But going first to third is Richie Barella. So the Mohawks are in business here with runners on first and third and one out. Now up 2-0 and looking to expand on that lead. And it brings up Ben Rhodes, the designated hitter out of Herkimer College, who is an Amsterdam, New York native. It was just announced that the first base coach for the Mohawks right now is Austin Cozino, who is an assistant, who is also an assistant for the Mississippi State team in Mississippi, who made the run in the College World Series. But now with their run over, he has reported to the Mohawks and is in the first base box, as we have a mound visit from head coach Cameron Curler for the Glens Falls Dragons. And we will also have a huddle up for the Mohawks, as we will take a short break here and come right back to you in case there's a pitching change. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Back here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network, Ben Rhodes steps in. He is 0 for 2 so far today. He's struck out and flown out. Hit a long fly ball to center, but was ran down by the center fielder, Ryan. The first pitch to him is a ball off the plate, 1-0. Etherington trying to work through the sixth here after giving up a 2-run home run to Joe Genord. The 1-0 misses high, and now it's 2-0 here. Ben Rhodes coming into this game was hitting .316, 12 for, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. And Rhodes takes his time stepping back into the box, but now he does. Matt Padre is on third with, or excuse me, Richie Barella is on third with, on first being Richie Nitsa. And taking his time once again is Ben Rhodes. Steps out, resets, gets his signs from Coach O'Bray at third. Now the 2-1 is flown deep into the air in right center. Ranging back is the right fielder and center fielder. Coming on to make the catch is Dan Ryan. Tagging at third is Richie Barella, and he will come in with the third run of the game for the Mohawks. Sacrifice fly there for Ben Rhodes. And it'll bring up Chris Lanzilli, the 8-hitter out of Wake Forest. First pitch into Lanzilli is low and away, 1-0. As that one is in there for a called strike, it is now 1-1. Lanzilli so far today is 0 for 1. He walked in the second and flew out in the fifth. As that one will be lined right back up the middle. Stealing on the pitch was Nitsa. And now a bobble out in center by Danny Ryan, but being held up is Nitsa. Sliding into second, however, will be the hitter Lanzilli. So he will get a single on the play, and then it will reach second on an error by the center fielder, an E8. Going first to third anyways was Richie Nitsa. He was held up, as the Mohawks now think with their hitting, I guess, that they'll be able to have a better chance of getting these two runners home instead of trying to send them there. As that one is taken on the outside corner for a strike by Cole Barr, 0-1. Barr so far is 1 for 2 today. And the 1-1 here to Barr as Ethington looks in for his call. And the 1-1. Curveball in there for a called strike, and it is 1-2. If Barr can keep the inning going, it will bring up the leadoff hitter, Mike Antico, as that one is called no swing. It was a high and inside pitch, but Cole Barr started to turn on it. The umpire is placed at second base instead of first with runners on second and third. So the 2-2 now to Barr. That off-speed pitch is grounded down to third. Snagging it is Hernandez, throws on to first for the putout, and that will end the inning, but not before the Mohawks get on the board with 3 runs, highlighted by a Joe Genord 2-run home run and a sacrifice fly by Ben Rhodes. So the Mohawks score 3 runs on, 4 hits. They strand 2. There was 1 error in that inning for the Dragons, as we will head to the 7th here at Shuttleworth Park. The Mohawks 3, the Dragons nothing. The Mohawks are now up 3-0 over the Glens Falls Dragons and are looking to move into a tie with Albany for first place in the East Division in the PGCBLs. That one is cut on and missed by Hamill 0-1. Matt so far today is 0 for 2. He's flown out to center twice. The 0-1 from Espinal, who stays out to pitch the 7th after throwing a scoreless 6th, is fouled back to the backstop, and it is 0-2. And that one will be on the outside corner for a call at strike 3 for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Phoenix Hernandez out of Southern New Hampshire College.
The third baseman from Southern New Hampshire, Phoenix Hernandez.
Hernandez takes a couple of practice swings. So far is 0 for 2. He struck out and hit into a double play. But he has made a couple of good throws in the infield, playing third today. That first pitch is on the bottom half of the strike zone for a strike 0-1. So that one is fouled down the right field line, and I think hit the bounce house here down the right field line at Shuttleworth. And it's 0-2 now. And the 0-2 is in there for a called strike 3. That's a second strikeout in a row here in the 7th for Espinal.
The first baseman from LIU Post, Zach Fritz.
As that one is swung out and missed, and it's 0-1 here for Zach Fritz, the first baseman out of LIU Post. Currently, Espinal has thrown 7 pitches. He has 7 strikes, either a strike or a foul ball, which means that 2 more strikes and he has a perfect inning. Of course, he bounces the next pitch in 1-1. Now the 1-1 to Fritz, who so far today is 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd, but was stranded. As that one is cut on and missed by the big first baseman, and it is 1-2. On deck, if Fritz can keep it going, is Justin Rouse, the second baseman out of Bellarmine. And the 1-2 is through the wickets on Matt Padre. Evens count 2-2. Nice little snag coming off the backstop by the hitter in Fritz. And it's 2-2. If Blake Espinal would have thrown 9 straight strikes and gotten 3 strikeouts, it's what we call an immaculate inning. One of my stats guys presented that to me. So we were 2 strikes away, as those are very rare in baseball. As that one is fouled into the dugout on the first base side. A couple of Mohawks go running, but it looks like everyone's all right down there, and it stays 2-2. Espinal sets, and the 2-2 is high. It'll be 3-2 now to Fritz. Score update in the top of the 4th. The Adirondack Trailblazers lead the Saugerty Stallions 10-0 as that one is fouled away. Once again, it leaves the count full. 2-2 in the top of the 5th. The Newark Pilots are currently leading the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 2-1 in the top of the 4th. And we have our game here, 3-0 still for the Mohawks in the bottom of the 6th. And Fritz is taking his nice sweet time, stepping back in. We have a little bit of a breeze now at Shuttleworth. Nice sunset over the trees as that one is caught and missed. And Blake Espinal strike here in the 7th as we will stretch here at Shuttleworth Park. The Hampshire Mohawks lead the Glens Falls Dragons 3-0. You are listening to the Hampshire Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Mike Antico tries to bunt his way on to lead off the bottom of the 7th, but will foul that one right into the plate, and it will be 0-1. As that curveball sits high, it'll be 1-1. The pitcher for the Dragons is number 37. And we'll get you name and face to that in just a second. It will be, as that one misses low, it's 2-1. It's probably Michael Nunez, number 27, the left-hander out of University of South Carolina, Lancaster. He's a freshman there as that one misses away, and it's now 3-1 here to Antico. Top of the order here for the Mohawks in the bottom of the 7th. They took a 3-0 lead in last inning as that one will be grounded to the left side. Ranging over is the shortstop who airmails one into first. Hopping to get it will be Fritz, but on with a base hit will be Antico. That'll be his first hit of the day. He'll bring up Jake Hammond, who is as I was shown a tweet. If you guys get a chance, follow our Twitter during games because we try to post some to kind of funny outtakes, different stuff. Also try to get some photos on there when we can. So that one misses low. Want to know, we do have professional photographers at times too, where we will post photos the day after the fact for special nights. We had our Halloween night last week. We have photos of that on our Twitter and our Facebook page if you want to check those out, if you had your kids here or if you just enjoy fun, cute kids doing stuff. As that one misses low, and it's 2-0. So far for Hammond today, he is 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and came around to score on a Joe Genord home run last inning, and he singled in the first. 2-0 into Hammond is outside, so now it's 3-0 from Nunez, who it is confirmed he's number 27 out of USC Lancaster. His numbers so far on the year for the Dragons. This is his 5th appearance, and that one misses low, so he walks Jake Hammond here. And there will be runners on first and second with nobody out to lead off the bottom half of the second. He's thrown 5 2/3 innings, given up 4 hits, 4 runs. 2 of those runs are earned. 6 walks. He struck out 9, and he has a 3.17 ERA as that one is in there for a called strike on Genord. 0-1. Mentioned he's 1 for 3. He homered last inning to give the Mohawks their first runs of the game. Nunez is a solid lefty, especially for Glens Falls out of the pen. And that one will be ripped into left. Lining it up is the left fielder, Arndt, to make the catch. And that will be the first out of the inning. Another hard-hit ball for Joe Genord, but right at someone. And that will bring up Richie Barella, third baseman at Manhattan College. He's 1 for 3 today. He singled and came around to score in the last frame. Nunez sets, checks a runner at second and deals. That one is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Antico so far on the year, it says that he has 2 stolen bases, but I think that's 5. As he is going here on the curveball, that one's in there for a strike, and Antico is thrown out for the second out of the inning. And now Richie Barella is up with 2 outs. Runner on first in Jake Hammond Matt Padre on deck for the Mohawks. The 0-2 as slipping on the mound is Nunez. And that one is fouled off. He's lucky he didn't ending up hitting Barella. And the 0-2 once again was punched foul, will hook foul down the right field line. And it's 0-2. Staying alive here. He's hung tough, and of course he leads the Mohawks in average with a 4.13 clip coming into today. Check of Hammond at first, but he gets back in safely. And the curveball into Barella is popped up. The second baseman ranges under it and almost loses it, but makes a coattails catch. That was the second baseman, Rouse. Almost loses that one, but gets under it, and the Mohawks are out of the inning. They score none on one hit. They strand one, and there are no errors in that inning as we will head to the eighth here at Shuttleworth Park. The Hampshire Mohawks hold a 3-0 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons. You are listening to the Hampshire Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. New pitcher in here for the Mohawks. It is Ryan McClinsky out of Seton Hall. Comes in for his teammate in Blake Espinal, who threw 2 scoreless innings. Score check for the College World Series final. Oregon State is currently up 3-0 over the Arkansas Razorbacks, as that one misses high 1-0. It is in the bottom of the 5th. I saw a tweet of, I think an outfielder got thrown out in that game, or a fielder for Arkansas. So there might be a bit of an issue in some sort of way there. And the 1-0 here from McClinsky into Justin Rouse is a strike, evens at 1-1. Rouse out of Bellarmine College is 1 for 2 today. He singled and stole a base in the 5th, but he ended up being stranded at second. That curveball is just high, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1 for McClinsky is cut out and missed by Rouse. He was just tweeted out. Joe Genord, his 9th home run as a Mohawk occurred in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that handsome Monica for the team, for second most in team history in home runs. The first is Ed Charlton, who has 13. As we have a quick visit to the mound from Matt Padre. Talks to McClinsky. Resets here. We have Rouse at the plate, due up also in the innings. Barring any miracle, I would expect the Stallions to drop their game tonight, in which they were down 10-0. And as that one is flailed at and missed by Rouse for the first out. He'll bring up Brian Hart, who will be attending Marist College in the fall. Hart is a Saratoga, New York native, who also is 0 for 2 tonight. He has popped out and grounded out. As that one is in there for a called strike from McClinsky, 0-1. And McClinsky resets now. And that 0-1 curveball is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Yep, and as I expected, as it's 1. As that one is bounced in from McClinsky. And that will make it 1-2. I was way ahead in the count there. I'm able to see into the future, of course. But now it is 1-2 on McClinsky. The Adirondack Trailblazers, as I expected, are up 12-0 over Saugerties in the bottom of the 5th. The Newark Pilots currently hurled a 2-1 lead, as that one is swung on and missed, and Matt Padre has to throw it down to first to get the out. But he will retire Brian Hart with the second out of the inning. That is 5 straight strikeouts for Mohawks pitching, starting with the first batter of the top of the 7th. But the Newark Pilots are leading the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th. And Geneva and Watertown are tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, as that one is in there for a called strike, 0-1. But if the Mohawks get the win tonight, they will move to 10-9, which will put them tied for first place games-wise, as that one is grounded to second, trying to field the short hop was Richie Nitza, and he boots it, so that'll be an E4. And Kondo is on here. So he'll bring up Dan Ryan, the center fielder out of Fairfield University. Ryan so far today is 1 for 3. He doubled in the 6th, but could not be brought home. And Kondo, who has, I believe, 11 stolen bases on the year, as that one misses outside, it is 1-0. I'll give you the for sure accurate stat. Kondo has 12 stolen bases on the year, so he's only been caught twice, so that is just a little good. And, of course, he is going here. Matt Padre throws down to second. Richie Nitza, cannot field that one. And that'll be a stolen base there for Kondo, as that was a bang-bang play. I don't know if Nitza would have even gotten him if he fields that cleanly. So that is his 13th stolen base of the year. And it's a 1-1 count now to Danny Ryan by Ryan McClinsky. McClinsky at one point was going to start some games for the Mohawks, but he's kind of bounced around. He may still start at least a game or two. down here in Amsterdam, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. Nice curveball there from McClinsky, who on the season for the Mohawks actually has a 0.00 ERA. This is his 6th appearance in 8 innings pitched. He's only given up 2 hits, 4 walks. He's out 10. So he actually has been the Mohawks' most efficient pitcher coming out of the pen, as that curveball sits high, and it's an even count, 2-2. Taking a good-sized lead is Nick Kondo at second. Looking in for a sign is McClinsky. He has it. We're now in dusk here at Shuttleworth Park, and the 2-2 from McClinsky is fouled back, and that will spoil that one, and we'll have to reset and start again. Ryan has made a couple of nice running catches in center field, and I'm sure would love to be able to get Kondo home here in the top of the 8th, as the Dragons are running out of outs to work with, down 3-0 here to the Mohawks. That one will be slapped down to first. Joe Genord fields that one, takes it himself, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So working around an error in that inning is Ryan McClinsky. Scoreless relief, giving up only 1 hit. We head to the bottom of the 8th here at Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks lead the Glens Falls Dragons 3-0. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Matt Padre takes a called strike to start the bottom of the 8th. He pops one into left field. Racing back is the left fielder Ryan, and it'll get over his head. And Matt Padre has himself a hit. He cruises into second, slides in for a leadoff double. And he was actually the recovery hitman of the day. So that means that everyone in attendance here at Shuttleworth Park will get a coupon to the Recovery Room Sports Bar and Grill on Route 30 in Amsterdam, excuse me. And that'll bring up Richie Nietzsche, the second baseman. As that one is misplayed by the pitcher. It was a bunt down the first base line, booted by the pitcher as we were looking up. It's Brandon Abdul out of Goldie Beacom College. He tried to field that one, couldn't get to it, and that error will now turn into another run for the Mohawks. Padre came all the way in from second to score, going down to second base is the batter, Richie Nitza. So he is on an E1 there. As actually, I would probably give him it would be a hit and then an error to get to second. And it will bring up, as that one is in there for a strike, it will bring up a pinch hitter in Shane Muntz, who is pinch hitting for Ben Rhodes, the designated hitter. So the pitcher for the Dragons, as we were trying to get the right number, it's Brandon Abdul, the lefty, as that one misses high and away. And it's 1-1 now to Muntz. Shane Muntz came into this game batting .250. He's hitting 5 for 20 with 3 runs scored, 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. And he also has been doing some pitching for the Mohawks. That one gets by Viglica, and it allows Richie Nitza to jog on down to third. And there's still nobody out here in the inning. As excuses says we just had some cleaning to do of our scorecard. Runner on third and Richie Nitza, he reached on a single, but then got to second on air, just got to third on a wild pitch. And we have Shane Muntz, the pinch hitter, in with a 3-1 count here from Brandon Abdul out of Goldie Beacom College, and that one misses inside, so Muntz has himself a walk. And that'll give the Mohawks runners on first and third here with nobody out, with Chris Lanzilli coming to the plate. And Lanzilli steps in. He is 1 for 2 so far today with a walk, as he'll rip that one down the left field line. Almost got Richie Nitza, who jumped out of his socks. But luckily, he's all right. The ball goes foul. It's 0-1 now to Lanzilli. O'Bray still in the third base box, Tozino in the first base box. So that might be something that we see maybe for the rest of the year. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see on that one, as that one misses low. It evens count at 1-1. Lanzilli out of Wake Forest, his teammate Michael Ludwig, who's gotten some time in the outfield as well, is off tonight. Hopefully not to an injury or anything. We weren't given any update on him, as that one is in there for a strike. Next curveball there from Abdul. It's 1-2, but I think he is just getting a night off. And the 1-2 is cut on and missed by Lanzilli, or actually he did just foul it off. Fouled it enough so that way Viglica could not catch it. Knocks off of him, and it'll stay 1-2. First and third here. No out. They have the runner at first, Shane Muntz, and a rundown. Coming home is the runner, however. It's to score, so the Mohawks now lead 5-0. They get Muntz at first, but at what cost? As the Dragons are now down 5 with 3 outs to play with. So, scoring there. And I believe that would just be a steal of home, would be Richie Nitza. So that is another stolen base for Richie. He steals home for the first time this year, and it's 2-2 here to Lanzilli. 2-2 is fouled off, so now there are no runners on base, 1 out here with Lanzilli at the plate. On deck is Cole Barr, the shortstop. And the 2-2 is caught and missed by a high fastball. Gets Lanzilli for the second out. Now bring up Barr out of Indiana, who is 1 for 3 so far today. Singled and has grounded out to third twice. as that one is taken for a called strike 0-1. Abdul gives up 2 runs in the inning, but neither of them will be earned. As that one is cut and fouled off of Barr himself, looked like, so he grimaces a bit. And it's 0-2 now. We might have a scoring change on that, but for now I would think that Abdul has both of those runs unearned. That one is sailed way overhead and makes it 1-2. We have a little bit of action in the Mohawks bullpen, it looks like. I would expect it to be Ryan Falls, who has closed a lot of games for the Mohawks. That one misses low and inside to Barr, evens count at 2-2. Due up for the Dragons in the top of the 9th will be Josh Arndt, Anthony Viglica, as that one is cut on and missed by Cole Barr and Matt Hamill. As that is the 3rd out of the inning. And not before the Mohawks score 2 runs on 2 hits. They strand none, and there was 1 error in that inning for the Dragons, as we will head to the top of the 9th here at the Glens Falls Dragons 5-0. Swinging and missing at the first pitch he sees from McClinsky is Josh Arndt out of Cornell. Arndt so far today is 1 for 3. He's singled and stole a base but was stranded. And the 1-1 now from McClinsky. Out of Seton Hall, he threw a scoreless top of the 8th. As that one misses low, it's 2-1. And that one will miss low once again. It's now 3-1 here to Arndt. On deck is Anthony Viglica, the catcher out of LAU Post. And that one is a called strike, so is now a full count here to Arndt, the left fielder. (3-2) from McClinsky is fouled right back into the protective netting here in front of the home plate bleachers. Dragons would have to get 3 men on plus 1 home to get the tying run to the plate, as that one is fouled back, keeps it a full count at 3-2. As McKlinski takes his time and now goes into his motion and deals a 3-2. Is fouled. Richie Barella running for it down the left field line, but will not get there, as that reached over the trees on the left field side. Looked like Barella may have dove. We can't see from our position here at the top of the stands, but it looks like he's all right. Colbar went over to make sure he was okay. He'll stay 3-2 here. The Mohawks will host another home game tomorrow against the Albany Dutchmen, as it may be for, as that one is fouled back and out of play, keeps it full. Unless the Dragons are able to come back and win this one, it would actually be for the outright chance at first place for the team that would win tomorrow between Albany and Amsterdam. Amsterdam would come in 10-9. Albany would be 9-8, as that one is grounded to the right side for a base hit. Right where no one was playing. Joe Genord hugging the line, playing no doubles. Up at second, allowed that one to be pulled through the hole, and Arndt is on with a leadoff single here. That brings up Anthony Viglica out of LIU Post, who is 0 for 1 so far today. He's walked twice. Grounded out in his last at-bat in the. That one misses low. Nice stop there from Matt Padre, 1-0. Still has a 0.00 ERA with the Mohawks so far in 8 innings pitched, so I'm sure he'd like to keep that the way it is. That one misses outside. It's now 2-0. But he will need to get some outs here to close it. On deck after Viglica is Matt Hamill out of Siena. 2-0 misses low, and it's now 3-0. And the 3-0 from McKlinski is outside for a ball, so now Viglica is on with a walk, and the Dragons are in business with runners on first and second, nobody out. Action in the Mohawks bullpen looks like Ryan Falls as Coach Keith Griffin looks out to see if he's ready. He'll bring up the DH in Matt Hamill, and I think we will see a pitching change here. Coach Keith Griffin coming out to talk with McKlinski, as we will take a quick break here at Shuttleworth Park. The Mohawks currently lead 5-0 over the Glens Falls Dragons. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. And they will leave McKlinski out there to face Matt Hamill. I guess the pitchers who are up right now for the Mohawks did not get enough time to warm up, or they just want to go with McKlinski here against the Siena product, as that one misses high and outside. It's 1-0. McKlinski has seemed to have lost his control as he went to a full count in the first batter, gives up a walk to Viglica, and now starts this batter off with the ball. as that one is on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Hamill waits for the pitcher, McClinsky, who sets and deals. That one is on the outside corner for a called strike, and now he's ahead on Hamill 1-2. As mentioned, the Mohawks will host Albany tomorrow with a chance at an outright place for first. And I think the Glens Falls Dragons may be on the road tomorrow, as that one is popped up down the left field line. Racing for it is Richie Barella, who I believe made the catch. As, yep, it looked like, yep, that was a P5 for as Richie Barella caught that one. Yeah, we're not sure exactly where Richie plays every night. We just go with it. But that was a nice over-the-shoulder basket catch there behind the dugout. And that'll be the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Phoenix Hernandez out of Southern New Hampshire. Hernandez so far today is 0 for 3. Struck out twice and hit into a double play, so I'm sure he'd like to make up for that right now, as that one misses low and away. It's 1-0. Give you one last update of the PGCBL scoreboard. The Trailblazers are up 13-1 over the Saugerty Stallions. That one misses low and away. It is now 2-0. Newark Pilots are leading the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 4-1 in the top of the 6th. Watertown Rapids have taken a 3-2 lead over the Geneva Red Wings in the bottom of the 7th. And tomorrow, the Dragons will actually return home, as that one is caught and missed by Hernandez. Makes it 2-1 from McClinsky. The Dragons will return home to face the Oneonta Outlaws. So that's another Eastern Division matchup that will matter in, of course, excuse me, as that one will, of course, have consequences for the Eastern Division race, as that off-speed pitch misses low, and it's now 3-1 here. On deck, if Hernandez were to keep it going, is Zach Fritz, the first base. And the 3-1 is check swung in, fouled off by Phoenix Hernandez down the first base line. And is now a full count here to the third baseman. As this has become the most important pitch of the night here for either team. Hernandez could keep the line moving and give the Dragons a chance to get the tying run to the plate, while McClinsky is able to get this out. It all but shuts the door on the Dragons' comeback effort. Yeah, I'm sure McClinsky would love a double play ball here as he sets, checks the runner at second, and deals. That one will be popped up. Racing in is McClinsky and the first baseman, Janor. Janor calls him off and makes the catch for the second out. And that is the second out of the game there. And yeah, that was just a nice joke made by my statistics guy that that was not an Arkansas blunder, as people who have been watching the College World Series saw Arkansas end up losing a ball on the down the first base line that ended up falling foul, but they ended up losing the game that happened in, as that one is cut on and missed by Zach Fritz, who is at the plate, the first baseman out of LIU Post. And McClinsky now starts off the inning letting up 2 straight base runners, gets a talking to, and is now bounced back to get 2 pop-outs and is ahead 0-1 already. That one is also called for a strike, and the Dragons are down to their final strike here at Shuttleworth. And the Mohawks look to take a 5-0 win and move into a tie for first place in the Eastern Division. And that 0-2 misses high. It's 1-2 now. Fritz today is 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out 2 in his last at bat. And McClinsky steps back up. If he could keep it going, on deck is Justin Rouse. But the 1-2 here from McClinsky is swung and ripped into left field for a base hit. Fielding that is Chris Lanzilli, and he will get it in as all runners move up. And that'll bring up Justin Rouse out of Bellarmine College.
The second baseman from Bellarmine University, Justin Rouse.
Rouse so far today is 1 for 3 as he singled and stole a base in the 5th, but was not brought home. And the first pitch from McClinsky, misses high, and it's 1-0. Even if the Dragons hit a grand slam here, they're still down a run, so they need to get the line moved one more time in order to bring up their 9-hitter, Brian Hart, as the tying run. As that one is cut on and missed by the second baseman, Rouse. And it's 1-1. Bases, of course, are loaded, but that also gives the Mohawks a force at every base for any ground ball. And now McClinsky resets. And will step off now and actually wants to talk to Matt Padre quick. Try and get the right sign. Score is 5-0 here. The Amsterdam Mohawks got their first 2 runs on a 2-run homer by Joe Genord, got their 3rd run on a sacrifice fly by Ben Rhodes, and their 4th and 5th runs came in the bottom half of the last inning. As that one is caught and missed there by Rouse, and once again the Dragons are down to their final strike. And those runs were scored when Matt Padre hit a double and then was brought home on an error by the pitcher. And then Richie Nitza, as the same pitcher Abdul tried to get Shane Munson a rundown, which he successfully did at first, but Nitza was at 3rd, and he came home with the 5th run. And that one is swung in and missed. And the Mohawks have a 5-0 win here at Shuttleworth Park as they move into a tie for first place in the Eastern Division and get their 10th win of the year. The winning pitcher will be Blake Espinal, who came in and threw 2 innings of scoreless relief, striking out 3. As McClinsky finishes the game off here for the Mohawks, he has 2 scoreless innings of relief, striking out 2, as the Mohawks will host the Albany Dutchmen tomorrow with a chance to take an outright lead in the Eastern Division for first place for, I believe, what will be the first time this year. It will be either the first or second time that they'd have an opportunity to do that. As your star of the game will be the Mohawks pitching staff all around. Zach Durant, the starter out of Herkimer, goes 5 innings, gives up only 2 hits. He walks 3, strikes out 4, gives up no runs, and then 4 innings of scoreless relief from the bullpen. Gives the Mohawks a 5-0 win here over the Glens Falls Dragons and moves the season series to 3-2 now, still in favor of the Dragons, but the Mohawks closing in as they will see this team again this season. For everyone here at the Amsterdam Mohawks, this is Adam Agresta wishing everyone a pleasant good night. Join us here tomorrow as the Mohawks host the Albany Dutchmen with a chance at first place. And remember, roll damn Hawks. Thank you, everyone. Good night.